In the days following the freezing of Han Solo and Cloud City by Darth Vader, Boba Fett actually managed to lose the carbonite body of Han while trying to keep it frozen on the smuggler's moon of Nar Shaddaa. Surprisingly, the body actually ended up in the hands of Qi'ra, who is now in charge of the Crimson Dawn Crime Syndicate after the death of Darth Maul at the hands of Obi-Wan Kenobi. After Qi'ra captured the body of Han Solo, she invited the entire criminal underworld to an event where she displayed the body and challenged the others to take it from her. Eventually, Boba Fett got Han back, but it served as a way for Qi'ra to announce to the galaxy that Crimson Dawn was back, and that she was about to prove a very scary point. Now she has a new goal. Learning from the scattered teachings of Darth Maul himself, Qi'ra has transformed the Crimson Dawn Crime Syndicate into a group which now serves the dark side and that has one singular goal: the destruction of the Sith. So let's get into it. Make sure you're subscribed to be notified as I cover the rest of the Crimson Reign series, and check out the prequel to this, War of the Bounty Hunters. So the story begins in the present inside of a mysterious dark room where two unidentified people have just come across a mysterious grey force holocron. This means that the holocron can be opened with both the light side and the dark side. As a result, the two are pretty confused, but they quickly agree that it definitely is a holocron, just not like any they've ever seen before. Moments later, one of the two mysterious beings opens up the holocron, and inside is greeted by the presence of the Holocron Keeper. She tells the two that the holocron has been accessed using the light side of the Force this time, but opening it with the dark side would also have worked, although it may tell a slightly different story. Tell me down in the comments who you think these two mysterious beings are, since we probably won't find out until the end of the series. This whole story has already happened in the past and is being told through the holocron. The Holocron Keeper then goes on to say that this is the story of a woman named Qi'ra. She grew up as a scrum rat in the sewers of Corellia, but managed to rise to become the leader of Crimson Dawn. As the leader of her new syndicate, she gave them a true purpose, something which Maul had never done before, and she is just about to reveal that purpose. Moving out onto the flagship of Crimson Dawn, the Vermilion, Qi'ra has gathered the most heinous, violent and disgraceful thugs she could put together in order to begin her new plan. She tells her new syndicate members that those standing here are the only ones in the galaxy with the power to pull this goal off, and that goal is to defeat the Sith and take down Darth Sidious and his reign. She then introduces the new hand-picked members of her syndicate, including the Knights of Ren, Chanath Char and the Orphans, Ochi of Bastoon, Deathstick, Margot from Solo: A Star Wars Story, Trinia, and lastly the Archivist, who is the one telling this story through the holocron in the present time. Qi'ra explains to her fellow members that the Sith are an ancient order, masters of the dark side of the Force. She learned about them from the one who ruled Crimson Dawn before her, Maul. She explains that for some time he was one of the Sith, even using the title Darth. She goes on to tell them that there are only ever two Sith. Maul then learned of their mysteries, their power and their ambition, but then he died. Just as quickly though, he was reborn, which Qi'ra believes is not too uncommon for members of the Sith. Finally, Qi'ra warns her members that like so many others, Maul was simply used and discarded, which is all Palpatine does. She then moves on to show her members a hologram of how she believes power should be divided in the galaxy, almost like an endless mountain range with many peaks, but none dramatically higher than any other. Unfortunately, that's not how this galaxy operates any longer. Under the Sith, it's like a pyramid. At its peak, one man waits, ready to destroy anyone who dared to approach. He is the only truly free man in the galaxy. His name is Emperor Palpatine, or Darth Sidious. Qi'ra managed to learn his true Sith name and that of his apprentice Vader by rummaging through Maul's old artifacts and learning under him after killing Dryden Voss. No matter what, she wants them dead. She then moves to all of her members asking what they have against the Sith, first starting off with Ren from the Knights of Ren. Qi'ra knows that Palpatine stole his pride and his ambitions, and he simply responds, "Damn right he did." Palpatine stole love and hope from the Orphans, the identity of Deathstick, the vision of Ochi of Bastoon, and the legacy of the Archivist. Qi'ra carefully tells them that nobody here is a good person, but some are worse than others. She says that she doesn't trust them and they shouldn't trust her, while explaining her defeat of Dryden Voss from Solo: A Star Wars Story. Following this, we see a flashback of Qi'ra learning from Maul after Dryden Voss's defeat, and the fact that he had a plan to destroy Sidious, but was killed before it could be completed. Qi'ra, however, won't make the same mistakes, and now she has collected an assortment of Sith artifacts from him, and some that she has even collected on her own. Moving on to the Black Sun frigate named Dark Path, Qi'ra arrives and is greeted by Lord Gyudi of the Black Sun. The two exchange their hellos and are escorted by both of their security details to begin a very secretive meeting. Qi'ra starts off soft by telling the Black Sun Lord that they do not want any of their territory or any of their deals because a gang war would be wasteful, but instead she wants to serve as a small jobs contractor for their syndicate, a small but very elite group who can get any job done with no questions asked. She is also trying to convince the Black Sun to work more closely with the Empire now that the Hutt Council was gone. For those of you who don't know, Darth Vader slaughtered the entire Hutt Council because of the events at Qi'ra involving Han Solo's frozen body. If you want to see what that's all about, make sure you check out my War of the Bounty Hunters playlist. As Qi'ra is attempting to sell her syndicate services to the Black Sun, Margot and Trinia are doing the exact same thing with the Pikes and the other syndicates, urging them to also try to fill the vacuum that the dead Hutt Council have left, hoping to sow discord and contest between all of the syndicates. Finally, Qi'ra tells Lord Gyudi to pass on the word to Prince XIZOR, who I'm sure all of you will know is the infamous Black Sun crime lord from Shadows of the Empire. This is his first new mention back in the new canon, except for a small salad at Galaxy's Edge named after him. So it's pretty likely that he's leading the syndicate right now and is pulling all of the strings. Tell me down below if you remember Shadows of the Empire. Following this, we cut to Dantooine aboard the Cerodo, where the Orphans are about to begin their phase of the mission. They're going to raid a Black Sun smash processing lab, where they're currently tweaking the formula of their spice to make it more powerful. I'm sure I don't have to explain what smash is. The crew and their sarcastic droid aren't too happy about simply rolling up and murdering everyone working there, but Janeth Char calms their minds and simply tells them that these are horrible people anyway, who are trying to get people addicted to their smash. The group is then given a quick lesson on why they're called the Orphans. Everyone in this group is an orphan. The droid is the last of her factory line, Imara Vex's parents haven't been seen since she was young, and Janeth Char's parents were killed by Darth Vader right in front of her with the lightsaber of the Ninth Sister. This scene actually takes place in the Darth Vader 2017 comic, which is a great little connection. From that day on, she swore that she would end Darth Vader, no matter what it took. Moving down onto the surface, the Orphans storm the Smash Lab, violently killing all of the guards without a second thought before entering the main chamber. Inside, they are again met with fierce resistance, warning everyone inside that all comms have been jammed, and that nobody is coming to help. Janeth Char is eventually overwhelmed by the sheer number of blaster bolts coming her way, but she manages to spring her shield up just in time to save herself. After that, their droid Lady Bright is having the time of her life incinerating all of the spice production facilities, but outside they have a bigger problem. 2 Black Sun ships have managed to escape, and if they can get to hyperspace, it's game over. Everyone will know that the Orphans and therefore Crimson Dawn are behind the attack. Luckily, however, Imara Vex is able to get off a legendary shot and obliterate the Black Sun ships above the atmosphere, ending the threat in no time. Back at the Black Sun headquarters, everything is in complete shambles, with Lord Gyudi panicking and feeling deeply insulted by the attack, which nobody has yet claimed responsibility for. Having realized that nobody's going to come out and claim this attack, Lord Gyudi decides that he'll have to hit them all. He's going to attack all of his rival crime syndicates. Now, in the weeks following this, the Orphans continue doing the same thing to other syndicates in order to spark chaos, dissent, and distrust between the criminal syndicates, ensuring that nobody survived to reveal who were behind the attacks. And while this was happening, Qi'ra was using double agents within the syndicates, but controlled by the Crimson Dawn, to make them believe that the Empire was pitting every syndicate against each other in order to find the strongest. This little gang war, however, eventually reached the ears of Palpatine himself at the Imperial Palace on Coruscant, and he certainly was not pleased. He immediately summoned Lord Vader to put an end to this disorder in the galaxy and restore the authority of the Empire. This, however, was all part of Qi'ra's plan. Now moving on to the Night Buzzard, the ship of the Knights of Ren, the leader himself is practicing with Knight Marinda and tells her that Qi'ra will give them access to any dark side artifact that they can find from Maul's old collection as long as they follow her orders and achieve success. And moments later, they receive those orders. The Knights of Ren will attempt a heist on Fortress Vader. If they can pull it off, they will become legends. Ochi of Bastoon also plays his own role, sharpening the blade we see in The Rise of Skywalker, ready to attack anyone Qi'ra asks him to. He also debates the morality of all of this killing, being very lost about what is right and what is wrong. After that, Deathstick herself is meditating, but she is not conflicted at all like Ochi. She was born of the night and nobody could be more at home in the darkness than her. She isn't bothered at all by all of this killing and her target, which is Darth Sidious. Now finally we come to one of the most interesting characters of this saga, which is the Archivist. Qi'ra has employed her as a general advisor on all matters relating to the Force and the Sith. Now, very interestingly, Qi'ra has tasked the Archivist with finding surviving members of the Jedi Order, who themselves were destroyed by Sidious to try and recruit them. To her, they could very well be powerful allies. Her prime target is Master Yoda himself, and if Yoda will not join them, he can very well be used as bait. She is then interrupted suddenly by a mysterious figure. We'll have to wait until next week to find out who this is. Now finally, Qi'ra tells her closest advisors to send out the assassins to their targets and also to contact Leia Organa. Qi'ra knows that the rebels will be part of this little plan to take down Sidious, whether they like it or not. And to end the story, Qi'ra looks out into the vastness of space and says to her advisors, I really think this could work. But this story is a tragedy, not destined to pan out how she thinks. So make sure you're subscribed to see the next issue of Crimson Reign as soon as it drops. Thanks so much for watching, really hope you enjoyed the video. Cheers guys, hope to see you in the next one.